Hey guys, I'm Giovanni Herbert. Welcome to SnapComms, where we bring you news in a snap. Featured on SnapComms today is Mr. Mohamad Tarabay, who is collaborating with the Ministry of Communications and Works on a flood study conducted in Road Town. Welcome to SnapComms.
Thank you.
A hydrology study was done in Road Town recently. Could you explain what this means?
Well, basically, government recognized that we have a flooding problem in the BVI, especially in Road Town. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to understand better the causes of flooding and what we can do as a community, as a government, and as individual citizens, residents, to deal with this problem.
Okay. So what was found as a result of this study?
Well, it's a complicated issue. There's not one single reason that flooding occurs here in the Road Town area. Part of the problem is our geography. As you know, Road Town is a flat piece of land, but it's parts of it are below sea level because of the reclamation, with steep hills surrounding it. So what happens, rain falls and it comes down into town very quickly.
Gravity.
Exactly. And steep gradients too. And many times our drainage isn't big enough to accommodate all that water flowing out. And then also the reclaimed land also complicates matters because now it has to flow out for a longer distance to get out to sea.
Oh, wow. Yes, I could imagine. And I'm wondering, we're seeing lately that in the Caribbean, whether it be Grenada or Trinidad, some parts of St. Vincent, even in Dominica, we're seeing in the Caribbean that there seems to be a flooding issue. And I'm wondering, is it our demography? Is it the geography of the place? As a result of the study that has been done, what are some of the best practices that we can, develop or envelop here in the BVI?
Well, some things that we can do to help this problem is we could try to keep our drains clean.
Okay. Yes.
So a lot of times stuff we throw out, our litter, clogs up our drains. So water is trying to get out and it's being blocked up. Many times our drains are wide enough to deal with a lot of the rains we get. But then when they're blocked up, water overflows those drains and it causes flooding. As far as incidents of flooding in the Caribbean, global warming has an effect.
Okay.
Climate is changing, more evaporation, more rain, more tropical systems are being formed earlier and later on into the year, and they bring a lot of rain.
No, you mentioned the word litter. And a lot of people would think plastic bottles and, debris from construction sites or whatever.
Right.
But I've seen and I've understood as well that, when you cut trees down in your yard and you throw them in a gut, when you say you cleaning up your yard and, are those things considered littering as well?
Of course. I mean, we've seen incidents since the beginning of the study of a whole mattress in a gut, the whole back seat of a vehicle dumped in a gut. And that stops water from flowing. A lot of times too, when we clear land, like you mentioned, soil gets into our guts and into our drains. And that soil also backs up and causes flooding. When they were covered with trees and grass and that kind of thing, the soil remained intact and it wouldn't get into our drains. So that's an issue.
Wow. So there's a lot.
Yes. But part of the study, the hydrology study that government has commissioned, is there's a public outreach aspect.
Okay.
So we went out, we had quite a few community meetings. We were handing out flyers in front of supermarkets. We met with a lot of businesses. We went house to house, in residents, especially in areas that were flood prone. We also, as part of the study, visited a few schools around the territory. I think we visited maybe a dozen schools, both private and public. We also went to Virgin Gorda to visit some schools over there. And we have a poster competition that is open to every primary and secondary student in the territory. And the poster competition is based on that aspect of it where we're trying to stop littering. Okay, so we want our students, it's a simple thing. You just decorate a letter-sized paper with either a drawing or a graphic under a title of Keep Our Drains Clean. And, we're hoping to get some...
It's like a conscious awareness. When you get involved in such a way that may seem, not as, blasted,
Right.
you know, you get to get ideas and you get the public involved, and that's good. And you said this competition is currently going on?
It is. The deadline is the end of this. The deadline is November 2nd, which is next week.
Okay, next week Friday?
Next week, Friday, I think, yes. And so we're hoping to get a lot of entries, and we're hoping to get some. We actually have secured some very good prizes for our students.
That's good, that's good. And you're doing this competition in conjunction with the Ministry of Communications and Works?
Correct. The Ministry of Communications and Works and Department of Disaster Management.
Okay, good, outstanding. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with us as we close out this SnapComms?
Well, yes. I think the important thing is that I think we all need to realize that, yes, you know, government has a role.
Right.
There's some engineering solutions that have come out of the study that government is keen on implementing. But also as individuals, as residents, there's a lot that we can do to help mitigate against flooding.
All right, Mr. Tarabay, thank you for coming on SnapComms.
Thank you very much.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay.
Take care.
That's it for today, guys. I'm Giovanni Herbert signing off. Be sure to tune in for your daily feed of SnapComms, where we bring you news in a snap.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Twitter, and Facebook at BVI Government and Instagram at GIS-BVI.
SnapComms is brought to you by the Disaster Recovery Coordinating Committee, Government of the Virgin Islands.